All right. All right. So, I want to break down yesterday's case. I think you did the best you could have done, given all the circumstances. How do we improve those circumstances? I don't mean just you specifically. I mean like across the board, right? I don't think it. How do I put this? A year ago, we have not had a proper investigative unit. Probably since, I don't think we've ever had a proper investigative unit. And when I say
even what like me and Salax had was, I mean, it was a start of something, but
yeah, it's like infancy, right? CID was already cooked because when the lead's cooking meth and doing what he did, like it's already mental's cooked. Marshall's DOC, right? So it's just hadn't existed. As a consequence of that, certain basic things that needed to be done still have not been done. And a part of that would have been the realization, and that realization probably, like we've had it this time, but we should have had the realization, not we like our, those work in this case, but like the PD, that we need a technical document that is published to the DOJ and pretty much the city. And I spoke to Angel about this. We cooked on this for a minute after I talked to Grayson. We're going to put a document together that's going to detail out like forensic technicalities.
okay.
Yesterday when Barrett started to make his argument, and actually before I even say this, one thing that's very important, Maeve, is sometimes I'm going to paint a reality here. We were there to support you. We were there to support Ruby, everyone that was in that courtroom, and that's a good thing. However, not everyone that was providing advice knows what the fuck they're talking about. And part of that is some of the crying. Let me put it this way. We cannot blame the DOJ for this call. I do not agree with the ultimate assessment by Grayson. We have very different opinions on what an affirmative defense is. In my opinion, Grayson, for better or worse, makes arguments on behalf of the defense. I don't think he necessarily realizes it. I am of the opinion that the defense must provide an argument in order to counter cases like this. Like, in this case, when forensically evidence points at those two being involved in the terrorism, it is up to the defense attorney to make an argument that it was someone else by providing the alternative, what do you call it? Like an alternative explanation. A judge, in my opinion, should not be doing that on behalf of the defense. Grayson did that. It's not wrong. I just disagree with it. You with me?
At no point in that entire case did they say that they were elsewhere doing other things, that they weren't doing it. At no point they said they had an alibi or anything.
Correct. And I think this is just a folly of some judges. This is my opinion thing, right? That they don't, I don't think they fully understand that concept, right? And that the danger they create, we might die here. Come on. Okay, we're good. We're good. All right.
I'm still that boat.
However, I can't. I'm gonna call in local tow and we'll just walk back, I guess. I don't know why I didn't just do regular patrol. And started driving up the damn mountain. Jesus Christ.
Get Ragged to take us back.
All right. Having said that though, that's like an opinion thing, right? Because like, you know, the way that court and shit and we operate, we're in San Andreas, right? This ain't like Boston or New York. So I can't like, you know, the important thing is that we can't get on this fuck the DOJ train. We have to understand how it is that they operate in this city, right? And in saying that, I think one of the biggest issues that we ran across is that nobody knows how DNA looks like, you know, over time.
Yeah. Apart from Craig Barrett, who had a marshal report on it.
He didn't though. Well, he did. Well, so the report that exists is actually old and is not how the machine now works.
Has it changed?
Correct. So,
okay.
The current report states that after 2 hours, DNA gets old, quote unquote. That's not how our fingerprint gets old after 2 hours. That's not how it works anymore. I know this because just from my own eyeballs, you know, I've seen like different stages of it. Like offhand, I think it's like 6 hours, and every hour it's got a different level of degradation. I think I even asked for that change. I'm actually pretty sure I did, and then it must have happened at some point. But the point is that is something that we need to figure out and then literally document it and then give it to the DOJ. Because the problem becomes like, if we don't know how it works, like, okay, so it was a bad idea for us to actually say that we're not experts. I wanted to say something, but I want to let you guys cook. I hope you don't take this like I let you guys get screwed here. I think it's better that this happened rather than trying to throw audibles. I think it would have fucked up your case even more. You know what I mean? I come up with a different strat mid-court case. But in future, we don't want to be in a position where we ever say we are not experts. It is actually better for us to say, I am not aware of this particular thing, right? Because we have to be the experts. We have to be the ones that publish this information. But instead of presenting it in the court case, it should go to the judge. And so we don't end up in this situation where, you know how there was a point where like some people in the pews were like, that's kind of weird to say. Like, you know, that's not actually weird, the Barrett argument.
No.
Barrett was simply trying to establish how old was this DNA, right? And how old were these fingerprints? Was it a possibility that somebody else got on the tower? And when we recognize that, we need to be able to produce a counter argument in the redirect. So like, for example, when Barrett started asking like you those questions, we would have needed to go in and redirect it and say, you know, could the fingerprints have been from the next day? Could they have been from 6 hours ago? And we need to be able to answer that. And the judge needs to have a technical document to reference so these questions don't even come up in court. Am I making sense?
Right. Yeah. I mean, I think, I probably worded it wrong saying I'm not an expert, but I think what I mean by that is when he was trying to ask me, how comes the fingerprints were on Aaron's gun and not Gray's? I don't know. Like I'm not fully, you know, I haven't taken a forensics science degree. I don't know how a fingerprint, I can make guesses that might not be correct, but I wouldn't want to do that on the stand.
Your answer, correct. But even your answer wasn't the issue. It was that we motioned that you're not an expert witness, which is very dangerous. Because over time, if the courts establish we're not expert witnesses on our tools, that can fuck us in the future. Like, in other words, in future, let's say you did know, and they're like, well, do you have a certification now that you know? Like, you know what I mean? It can open up a very dangerous door. But I wouldn't be worried about that too much. But this is just kind of...
What we could do is do that investigation and get to know how our machine works. And then we could say that now we have that knowledge. But the thing is, like, I didn't make that machine, so I have never been told what the difference is between fresh and old. I just know that it came back positive to their fingerprints. And I could have said my best guess is that fingerprints last like a day. But I just did not want to say. You should not make up anything.
Guess. I want to make it clear.
I don't want to make up anything or guess.
You did not say anything wrong, right? The only concern, and I wouldn't even say the wrong thing, is like we should never have motioned you not being an expert witness in that area, right? Those are like two different things. Like, for example, I'll make a comparison here. If someone asks, like, how fast does your gun fire, right? And you said you didn't know, and someone motioned, well, she's not an expert on guns. You know what I mean? It's kind of like that. It's the motion we shouldn't have never put in. But so I think this is like an easy fix, right? And I think as a part of this like SOP thing is like, yeah, let's go and like actually, like me and Maxwell did this with like evidence on the ground from like a taser cartridge. We kept it. Oh wait, was it me and her? No, it wasn't. That was a weird memory I have. Okay, never mind. We should do it for everything. Degradation, blood, all that kind of stuff. And we're gonna publish it for everyone to know. Angel is already down for this. We both agreed that this isn't something that like is gonna like hyper negatively affect us. Like, criminals knowing this aren't gonna really be able to do much with it, right? But what it does is we don't have to argue how our tools work in court because the judge will know that information. You know what I mean? So when we say, hey, it's like this, they know that it's like 2 hours old. They know, you know, and that's saving everyone 30 minutes and you know, because I think the ruling yesterday really came down to the DNA, and because nobody knew how old DNA could be, it went. Now, I will say that Maxwell really fucked it up on the stand. I'm going to keep it a buck. I don't know why she got so damn rattled, because she actually said the wrong thing, which was crazy.
What did she say?
She said it was fresh. She used a very specific word, which wasn't accurate. So
yeah, she should have said that it came back positive to them.
Yeah, correct. But for some reason, she said it was fresh, and the moment she said fresh is when Barrett went in, because it wasn't. Right? And so now all of a sudden, the person who's collected and checked the, you know, evidence is literally, I don't know. I think she just kind of, I don't know why she said that. I don't know, but it is what it is. It's like one of those things where it's like, you know, replace Maxwell with somebody else. Not everyone's going to be good at the pressure under court. You know what I mean?
I think she's fine with the pressure. I just think maybe she hadn't.
Thank you so much,
we
Riker.
hadn't like gone over. Thank you, Riker.
She wasn't prepped. Yeah.
And maybe if we knew that she was going to say fresh, as soon as she said fresh, I went, oh God, because I had checked those photos and I had already seen that it said old.
True. Hey, babe. I'll talk to you soon, all right? Oh my God, he's Sag farming. I'm gonna talk to you later, all right, babe? I promise.
Yeah, whatever.
Okay, don't send us into the water this time.
I'll try not to. But babe, if I wasn't working on terrorism, I would, you know, I'd spend some time with you, you know?
Yeah, okay, Brian. That's what they all say.
Aww.
Oh my god, is this what I sound like when I talk to Beans?
I don't think, I don't know. Look, he got, oh my God, that's a whole other topic. Yesterday, when there was a side shit show that was happening. I'll give you the short version. Cassidy and Bjorn had a fight. Mm-hmm. Bjorn had his canine. Cassidy was just being Cassidy, and saying that's not a canine, this, that, and the third, and it's kind of like shitting on what Bjorn's thing is, but at the same time, Bjorn was not recognizing that he's not in the county, he's in a courtroom, and that he should be following orders, right? Like, Rangers is his shit, Cassidy needs to respect it, but Bjorn also has to respect Cassidy's rank. But, you know, it kind of turned into, you know, someone kicked the cat, which in turn made the cat mad, and then it attacked Junior. So, you know what I mean? So, but anyways, what we can nip the whole DNA thing in the bud. I think, like, you know, we'll get a technical, like, we'll have it in the SOPs, but then we'll make a separate, like a separate technical doc, and we'll give it to the DOJ, and they can publish it as they see fit.
Okay.
So,
you know, when I came back, before I became a cop, I didn't want to be a cop again, because I didn't want to get out there and be on the field and, you know, get into court cases like this. I actually wanted to come back and simply, like, work admin from like the PD, and like just stay in the PD and like do forensic shit, because I feel like that was a place where we were lacking heavily. Like, have someone who knows how to go over like the VR stuff and link like what gun shot what person, because I like doing that stuff. I like going into the details, and I know that that's where we were lacking in some situations.
That I agree with. So let's say we ran it back, and I don't want you overthinking about this. I do not want anyone overthinking on your behalf. They do not have the expertise. They may pretend they do. They haven't closed cases. They haven't won cases like this. And I want you to recognize that, right? And I don't want, this doesn't mean don't take advice from people, but just don't end up getting it in your head by, like, you know, behind the bleachers, you know, coaches that haven't done it. You know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, I will tell you, as someone who has been to more trials than anyone, all right? We, as law enforcement, Grayson thought you did a spectacular job. Barrett spent a lot of time complimenting, when I was speaking with him, about your work. And that, of course, everything we can do better at, but the one thing that PD time and time again will fail, and this is the environment I don't want you to get attracted to, is that when we go to court, we present the best argument based on probable cause. And we should be expecting to lose sometimes, right? It doesn't, and when we lose, it's not the equivalent of like what some people call throwing shit at the wall. No, it's how the process is supposed to work. Because sometimes we may lose in court, but from that comes successes, right? The beauty of that court case is we now know that we need these documents made. We also have, you probably gained a lot of knowledge from like what to say, you know, what questions to ask. Maybe, you know, the notion of like prepping the witness, right? Like things like that. Like that was a huge victory if looked at from the right lens, right? In fact, when I started the last investigative division I made, the biggest thing I told my detectives was, I don't care if we win or lose. That's not our job, right? We're gonna try, but it's about the journey, and it's about walking away from a court hearing and improving, right? And with each one, we're gonna get better. It's like the fucking gym. Every time we go to the gym, we're gonna walk out a hell of a lot stronger. Before you know it, people are gonna be fucking scared to go against it, right? But so DNA, second thing, second, I think lesson learned. So, is even if it's and I recognize they're hard to find, like that May Miller, any witness that we're planning to bring in, even if it's a cop, and this is the thing that turned the Turner situation into a shit show because he's a dumb fuck. Even if it is a cop that is a victim or is a witness, right? Like a direct victim, like Aaron and stuff, you actually want to bring them into interrogation, not because it's the only recording room, and they should be asked questions the day of or the day after on recording. What that allows is it makes it almost impossible for them to forget, impossible for them to perjure, and in the event they do, like May Miller, they're fucked on the stand, right? Because once it's on recording, the judge and everyone knows they were in the right state of mind. You ask them, like, hey, were you cleared for medical, right? Are you here like on your own volition? And then you ask the questions, and now even if they go on the stand and they say, oh, I had temporary brain damage, right? Well, they're fucked because no one's gonna believe it, not even the judge.
Yeah.
So, anyways, okay, so, anything else you want to talk about this? I think we, I don't want to spend too much time on something that's like over and done with, other than what we got to pull out of it.
We had a chat about it yesterday after the case with Pred. He brought us all into a room at the courthouse and spoke about it. He did say that he was disappointed that it was such a fuck up, which felt a bit hurtful because he was not even there for any of it.
Pred isn't really an investigator. He's
but he had a lot of good points after that.
I don't think it. I don't like. Look. I don't care. He should not have said. Wait. What do you mean? He said it was a fuck up. Well, where's the fuck up?
Well, he basically said, I can't remember his exact wording, but we were having a chat about it and what we could do differently, what we could do better.
Yep.
And he said something along the lines of next time something like this happens, like a case like this happens, we can't let it be a fuck up like this, or we can't let whatever happened today happen again because this was disappointing.
So don't take what he said too much to heart unless there was any good advice came out of it. I
mean, there was plenty of after that we went round in a circle and we each said something that we could have done differently, we could have done better in the case.
Who was there?
And Angel, Ruby, Gravy, Oxby, Maxwell, Pred, me.
Okay, good. Okay, it wasn't like a random set.
Oh, no, it wasn't just me and him. No, it was a group thing, and we were talking about what could be done better so that we could have won this. It was supposed to be productive and learn from it, right? But it was just I don't know, it stung the heart a little bit from him saying that it was disappointing considering he was never there for any of it.
Pred got roasted. His ego got bruised, and he was just trying to save face. I've known him for a while. Was one of my best friends. Still is. But everyone's got his flaws, and his flaw is, his ego gets hurt, he will try to, salvage. He's not wrong, that things can be done better, I would not phrase it like a fuck up. And as you stated, he is not aware of any of what happened. He's only aware of the result. You did not fuck up. Ruby did not fuck up. You salvaged a shit show of a case that is a consequence of the majority of our police force not giving a shit about anything other than pings. Because had they, you know, actually, if we had maintained a level of quality of good police officers instead of criminals with badges, then somebody other than Maxwell would have gone and collected the evidence on the roofs immediately. They would not have left evidence in the cars, leaving me to have to document it all. It wouldn't have left me to have to direct Maxwell to where all the evidence was. It would have, even during the chase, we have, unfortunately, and I'm going to say this just without any remorse, people in the police department that let things, like do things that are borderline, that are cringe, where they involve themselves in things for the momentary excitement. I'm choosing my words carefully here.
No, I get what you mean.
And then fuck up shit and then leave it to people like you and Ruby to resolve, rather than being like the whole fucking meth shit, right? Like, I gave Quangle a stern talking to, but that was him pog farming that the besties were there, right? Him going and agitating them in their block is fucking pog farming, right? And it's not about the greater picture. It's about what they can selfishly get out of the situation right then and there. And that's what happened that day. They never should have even made it to the roofs at the bank. But some fucking dumb fucks were like, oh man, this might be terrorism. But you know what? Let's let them breathe until they get set up on a roof. Like, you know what I mean? That doesn't equate. Right? And that's not something that's going to be fixed. It's not going to get fixed. Not until there's a big boom.
Yeah.
However, where does that leave us? Right? Investigators. Where that leaves us is, it does mean that we, I'm going to use the phrase I like to explain to Frost about it. We are playing chess, right? You might be a sergeant, but as an investigator, you're the chess master. When you see a board, right, and consider the board a crime scene, you are the one that sees what pieces are there, and you have to learn, like, figure out how to move those pieces, right? Mm-hmm. And those pieces are, you know, are law enforcement officers. And that does sometimes mean that even if, like, you know, you might need to yell at them and be like, well, let's say us as a collective, right, need to say, hey, something bombed 120-mile-an-hour pit if they do not stop, right? If they're getting on the roofs, right, it means that we might need to get on the roofs in advance. There is no give them a chase when it's terrorism. You know what I mean? It's not, hey, these people broke bail. Let's pretend they're not possibly in this Polito bank while they're wearing a besties vest across and wearing the exact same clothes. It's those sort of things that we have to watch out for. Am I kind of making sense here? You know what I mean? That's where the fuck up is. If there was a fuck up, it's that we got to fix just PD to be responsible across the board, and for us to just kind of oversee these things. But anyways,
I mean,
okay.
I guess the good that has come from this is, if that situation happened again now, I would feel completely confident in what to do. Whereas when it did happen and I was on scene and we were trying to figure out what to do, I had no idea. Whereas if it happened now, I would instantly get people doing all the right shit.
Yep. You know what? You know what we should do, Maeve? I think we should have like an investigative cheat sheet.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. Like, just something that goes through like each process, like DNA, like interrogations. Make sure you question victims. Make sure you question these people. Make sure you get it recorded. Make sure you do this. Make sure you do that. Like, I think having something like that would have been helpful. Like, make sure you get phone subpoena and bank records. If I'd got a bank record, maybe I could have had a bit more evidence.
Open up report number 32348. We can formalize this report in future. For now, give me a sec. Icon. Let's see what would be. Oh, there's all these emojis. What would be a DTF emoji? Yeah, I'm making a tag right now. This is the only one I will ever make. There's too many tags and it's fucking annoying. Helen tried to ask me for Sergeant to make tags and I'm like, hell no. I'm gonna start deleting tags. I'm gonna keep it a buck.
Please, there's so many fucking tags. There's a tag called Seaman.
See, the thing is, like, this is what I mean. Like, it's like by making tags, it's literally putting SBS in front of like police work, because by making those tags, it actually destroys the functionality of the MDT.
Yeah, I mean, I've spoken to Stevie about this. I've said that there's so many tags that I really think we should get rid of. We don't have a tag for a traffic stop.
Oh my god.
But we have a tag for birthday
Chat.
girl, worm, ass,
Oh
little
my
cutie.
God damn it. And then there's like duplicate tags.
Yes.
And it's like, bro, you know what it feels like? Okay, I don't mind being mean, all right? I feel like you ever were like in school or like college, like, you know, there's like, you ever been on a project with a shitload of people and then everyone just fucks off and then like you're left like having to fix it? Like here's my work and it's just shit. And then you got to just pretty much do it anyways.
So when
Ooh,
I
fingerprint.
had detective rank back in CIB, I had access to make and edit and delete tags, and I made and edited all of the gang tags for the gangs that were active at that time. And I so wish I could have it again, because tags is something I care about a lot. I know it's a silly little thing.
No,
but
it's not silly.
They're tools, they're tools, and I'm seeing a important tool used for things like pussy. There's literally a tag called pussy. Scissor Sisters, very mindful, very demure. Why do we have tags like that, but we don't have a tag for a fucking traffic stop?
Okay, this is not the best color, and I hope that tag is.
Let me see.
It's not the best colored tag, but I tried to make it kind of separate.
What's it called? DTF?
Correct. This is the intention of this tag will be for. Okay, so we have like there'll be like DTF investigative files, right? Obviously. However, this is like if it's not investigative, but we need to, you know, it's DTF specific. So, like we wouldn't want to put this. Maybe this report ends up turning into something a little bit more, you know, solid. But coffee has not hit yet. This tag is for non-investigative DTF related things. You know what I mean? And I think we should start listing in here like things that should be done. And I'm gonna hold on. Give me a sec. Let me be able to talk while I'm typing. Let me call you back, Bjorn.
Okay.
All right. Here we go. So this is a cheat sheet that for investigations for when a law enforcement officer comes across a crime scene. This document will be formalized at some point, but for now will be used to list things that a competent detective officer should be doing. Okay. Competent. Did I spell that right? I'm okay. Here we go. I'm thinking that so we can just like list shit every I'm gonna put it in like this. Like I don't really care about format right now, but every witness should key witness should be recorded the same day or the following day. This is to prevent them from forgetting key details or changing their mind because they are sucking that criminal cock. This is a cheat sheet, so I'm going to be very informal. What else do you think should be in here?
Scene needs to be secured from start of the incident to end of evidence collection.
Could you type that?
Mm-hmm.
Oops, sorry. Here you go. Fingerprints and DNA should be run as soon as possible in order to collect proper to maintain what's the word for like accurate timeline data. Sounds good.
Mm-hmm.
Every suspect car should have plates ran. This should be iterated on on related chases with suspects. Those plates should be recorded by the primary chasing the cars. This should be plates should be recorded by as many officers on chase. Investigators this might sound almost, to some degree, this might be seen as, I hope this isn't seen as demeaning. It probably will be by some, like this is obvious, but I think this actually highlights the things that are missing, right? Back in the day, we used to, like, imagine this was a suspect. We would literally chase every fucking plate, run it, take a photo, right? See another interference, run the plate, take a photo. Even no matter if it was a 24/7 or what it was. Those like little, you know, on ShareX, how you can, you know, look at timestamps, like,
yeah.
Even those little things are like helpful.
Haley's calling me.
Yeah, go for it.
Hey. Yeah. Oh, I remember this. It's so this happened right as Storm came in. The shootout began like 30 minutes before the storm rolled in, and I think some of the officers went off duty. The report isn't loading for me. I know, so Bean shot him down on a rooftop. He took his gun off him, documented all of his stuff, and put out the warrant after the storm. Is there only 4 statements from the 12? I mean, Jesus Christ. I mean, I can definitely tell you it was that many cops, because I was the one that went through and like checked who was shot.
Chat, what was I dealing with?
King, Pred, McQuillan, Brian, I think all of them were there. This report is just not loading.
Wait, for what?
Yeah.
What report is it?
Brian, it's the warrant for Jack Cortez, 4Head warrant apprehension attempt. Yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah, I can chase up the people who were shot and get them to put statements in.
Forehead apprehension.
Yeah. Okay, I will. I'll get people to add their statements. All right, will do. Thank you. Bye bye. Just nothing is loading. It's pissing me off. The MDT is just fucked.
Well, what are you gonna do? I mean, we get tsunamis around the corner. Yeah. I think this is gonna be really good as a cheat sheet, and we just keep cooking on this, so that even as we bring people in, right? I don't know what's gonna happen with DTF. I'm gonna be honest. It's like every 4 weeks, it's like something different is happening, and different people putting their fingers in it. At the end of the day, there's gonna be a handful of people that we're gonna come across that are like super down, and I think these are the people we send the sheet to. But like, yo, know this shit. This is like your bread and butter. And as we learn things or come across things, we'll add it to that. Good for us as a reminder too. Like, fuck, we didn't do this. It's a good thing I looked at the cheat sheet. You know what I mean? Yeah. Okay. Let's talk SOPs. I know that's what you initially wanted to discuss.
Okay. Uniforms. I was told by Stevie, I believe, that you had already started working on uniform SOPs.
No.
Okay, that's fine then.
Yep.
It's part of my general operations one. So
Okay.
I've got like another report that I'm referring to in general operations for uniform standards. I've changed some things. I've highlighted some things that should be clarified, should be maybe reviewed.
So let's see. Could we take a slightly oh, actually, this is perfect. General operations. Okay. Could we kind of like quickly go through these? This way we're simultaneously reviewing it, and then
Yeah. I don't know
okay.
if it should have been like as a group with high command, or I don't know if maybe just one of you is fine.
I should be fine. Yeah. Yeah. If it becomes a group, I've tried to get all the high command to do shit, and it just isn't a thing. I'd say the only other person that actually cares about this is Angel. So, and when I mean by that, let me just make sure I'm not sounding like I'm just being toxic here.
No, I get you.
I mean, like, she genuinely will like look at this type shit. You know what I mean? So, Leo 311. When on duty, Walkers on. Okay, that's good. Must patrol. Can you see where I'm highlighting, by the way?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Maintain appearance. I like that. Yep.
So this used to say that your hair color had to be completely natural. But I've added this, which would allow for people like Opal and Peach, who have like natural colored hair with like unnatural highlights, but they're subtle enough to not make a difference.
Okay. All right.
Like Opal's black hair with dark blue tint, it's not like nobody cares about it. Peach's blonde hair with pink highlights, nobody cares about it.
Okay. Makes sense. Vests are worn during active situations. There might be. I'm not too worried about appearance personally outside of our department. And I don't think we have anyone looking like a clown in our department, so that's a good thing. Equipment registry. I'd like another bullet point here, like, or actually under full uniform standards gonna be, this is the expected standard, and anything outside the standard must have high command approval. So.
Okay, so should I put that after here?
I would put it in this line, the full uniform standard. Maybe. Okay, yeah, maybe put it there and then like bold it. You know what I mean?
There you go. God, that makes it hard to read. And then in this report here is where I'm going to do all the uniform standards with photos and all the stuff we have access to.
Okay. All right.
So the holsters that we have access to, is that only for Sergeant Plus and ex-sergeants?
What holsters?
The holsters, like the leather ones.
I think that should be like, okay, so I think as a part of our uniform, we don't have to worry about doing the LSPD ones. Like, I don't want us to waste our time unless they want in on that.
Is this not SOPs for both departments?
It is for both departments, but like I wouldn't go out of our way to like take photos of the LSPD. What I'm about to say, like the LSPD ones, because they should do that themselves, whatever they want their uniform standard to be. Okay. For the Blaine County one, I think that the holsters you're talking about. Wait, you mean the ones you're wearing right now, or the ones that you wear sometimes?
No, I don't wear them because I was told it's only Sergeant Plus.
Oh, who told you that?
The ones that like Helen and Cassidy wear.
Okay, that. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. No, that sounds so dumb. Like, no, hell no. I think.
And they only wear them because they were grandfathered in because they were.
No. That sounds like they're fucking. Listen, we ain't running no Valorant battle pass, all right?
I mean, that came from Stevie.
I don't care. I don't know where that came from. No, I get that, but I think Stevie probably got that from someone. You know, we're new to the department, both Stevie and myself. That is just like so crazy to me. Okay, so I would say that we leave that out for the time being. I will reapproach that as to what the logic is. I don't like it strictly because rank is a responsibility. It is not, should never have anything that contains like material unlocks, because it is one of the core reasons we're in a shitty spot.
People shouldn't be trying to get a rank for an item of clothing.
Correct. And it creates people wanting rank just to get dumb shit. Tools and things should be like doing your job, not your rank. It just bloats the command structure. So I would say that those, well, I think we should have like in office like uniform SOPs, but they can be very like light, like, you know, must show badge, must show actually, you know what? Let me paint it better. Plain clothes SOP, or I don't know what we want to call it. Technically, plain clothes doesn't have anything exposed.
Light uniform.
Yeah, let's call it light uniform, or badged plain clothes. Maybe there's probably a very appropriate phrase for it that I just don't know. Maybe it is light outfit. But that would consist of like, you know, dress shirt, dress pants, right? That sort of thing. But then can you utilize the holsters? Must have like a badge, must have vest available, right?
Yeah, because if you wear those holsters, you haven't got access to a vest.
Oh, okay, that's fine. I think the general inference is that maybe in those SOPs, note that wearing this. So actually, that does make sense. When you're wearing those clothes, right? Let's call it, you know, badged.
Office wear?
Well, it's effectively when you're wearing those clothes, it's something like a detective would wear, right? And I would call that like, oh my God. I'm so bad with like thinking sometimes in the morning until the coffee kicks in. Let's call it badged. Let's just call it badged casual wear, and I'm gonna Google around to see what it is. That is something that a detective can wear. It's effectively plain clothes, right, with a badge and a holster.
So wouldn't that just be in detective SOPs, not in the regular SOPs?
Well, I would say that it's something that I don't mind. Like, people can wear if they're in the office, right? They can wear if they are on patrol as a detective, as a full detective.
Okay.
However, there should be in like bolded red that you are not wearing a heavy vest. And as such, that is why it is only like the notation effectively is that you're able to wear this because you're in the office. You're probably not going to get in a shootout. You're a detective on a crime scene. You're not going there with the intention of going to a shootout. And so like, is that your like risk level, right? Your vest is very light compared to normal duty gear, and as such, these clothes should not be worn on normal patrol, right?
Yeah, I mean that's why we can, you know, keep stuff in our trunk. It's very easy to change clothes now.
Yep, that's exactly it. Yep, like a detective rolling up in those clothes to a crime scene where they're asking questions or like collecting evidence. That's all cool. But you roll up on with that stuff like in an active 78s, in the case where you had the opportunity to change, you're kind of like, you know, you're kind of doing it wrong. And maybe we'll put that in there too, is that if in this uniform you, you know, end up having to respond to a active shootout, utilize the time to change. And I don't think anyone's gonna. It takes 15 seconds.
Think that should be in detective SOPs. I wouldn't want to clog up regular SOPs with stuff that's not relevant to just regular patrol officers.
Okay,
it can
that's
be
good by me.
Like, in the detective SOPs, but the problem is, I don't think any detective unit right now is like ready for SOPs. I don't like the CI. What is it? CID?
Yeah, they're like.
I don't know if they have
I think
SOPs.
we
Do
are.
they have SOPs?
Right. I think we are, and the intent of us starting them now is getting ahead of the curve, because there may be things that by putting even some of the basic things in place, we can be very flexible. And as we start to kind of like zero in on like expectation, or like zero in, how do I put this? I'm going to be very flexible with our detectives, right? Like right now, just off cuffs, I see you, Bean, and Bjorn as like our BCSO detectives at present. And as such, you know, and I say that based on your field work, your interests, what you're able to do, et cetera, et cetera. Now, when I say detective, I also am, it's not, I don't want to put you guys in a box, right? Bean is great at a bunch of other things, right? It's that because it's a task force, right? The DTF isn't even necessary. Maybe let's call it DTF SOPs, because by saying detective, we're kind of siloing a little bit. Does that make sense? What I mean by that?
Yeah.
Like, so. But I agree with you. Maybe that does go into a DTF thing. And as we like, I'm not going to be harsh on those SOPs, given that we're probably going to figure out what's best over time, rather than writing down these rules and then expecting we fully stick to them, right?
So what do you think of the rest of these SOPs in the general operations ones?
Oh yeah. Okay.
This hasn't really changed. This is just our normal way of registering equipment. When you get new equipment, it says what to do if it's stolen as well.
Wait, class 2 can only be used with rifle cert? Do we still have a rifle cert?
Yeah, you have to get taught how to use a class 2 by a TRT member.
I don't know, because I just got one.
when someone gets promoted to officer or deputy, you'll catch up with someone like Bean or D or any TRT full member, and they'll take you down to the docks, and there's a training range there, and you'll get taught how to use a class 2 with like a very short like breaching instruction. And you like play it out, and then they give you the set.
Okay.
Also, I added this because there was absolutely no SOPs on Class 1 firearms and who can use them.
Okay. I like this. Okay, that's very good. Is there any mention of, you know, I'm just going to point it out. I wish that the bullet points weren't so tiny. Like, holy fuck, it goes to 10 text. But it's fine. My only fear of a usage of bullet points is that people are gonna not read the bullet points because they're so tiny. I don't know if there's a better way to present them.
No, there's only one size.
Yeah.
I do bullet points to make it easier to read, because otherwise it's just a block of text. And me personally, I am not a reader learner. I'm a visual learner, and I think a lot of other people are in the city.
Yeah,
we're all kind of fucking, you know, ADHD a little bit, and it's hard to like read an entire like fucking 10 pages long of text if it's the same size and font and color. So by doing the bullet points, it kind of breaks it up a little bit and makes it easier to take in.
Yep. Okay. Yeah, I'm with you. Do we have anything on heavies? Okay, it is broken down here.
Yeah, so here I break down each gun and who can use them.
Okay, very good.
And then I've got the SOP for extended mags that was literally only written in an announcement. I've had to go through like every announcement to try and figure out what has been updated to the SOPs, like that's not been added to the SOPs. There's been updates to the SOPs that are just listed in announcements.
Okay. All right.
Okay, it was still in the SOPs that you have to carry your class 2 in your lockbox.
I'm gonna call Pred right now. All right. Remove it for the, wait, hold on. Okay. 30-second question.
Yeah, what's up?
Do we care about rifles being racked in the secure box? We're going through SOPs right now.
I'm gonna be honest. In my opinion, we should not be like just carrying around class 2s all the time. I think they should be racked. In my opinion.
Okay, I'm gonna leave it there. Let's keep this as a let's evaluate. Does that sound good?
Yeah. Let's touch base.
I don't rack
I'll call
my
you
shit.
in a bit.
Yeah, I don't rack my shit.
I don't rack mine either.
All right, I'm gonna remove it from the SOPs.
All right, bye.
That's it. All right, take care. All right, let's cut it.
Okay.
So the conversation went, I told him, he's like, I think it should be in there. I go, I don't rack it. And he goes, neither do I. And I said, I'm going to remove it then.
Yeah, I don't know one person that keeps their
yeah, ain't no way. We're in a fucking shootouts all the time.
Yeah,
so,
I mean, what if you're driving down the road, like in a pursuit, and then all of a sudden you're being ambushed with class 2s?
Yeah, I think there was a point in time we did it, and now that SOP was technically removed, right?
It was an announcement. Aspen wrote it.
Oh, it said, okay, good. Yeah, so we'll go coincide with that.
It actually got changed. It's just not in the actual like document SOP. Because in her changes in the announcement, it said you cannot use your lockbox to store extra firearms. So
wait. Oh yeah, we're gonna allow that.
you want to allow extra firearms?
Yeah, like if you got a shotgun and SMG, I'd do that. That just makes tactical sense.
Okay. Oh yeah, I mean, if you have access to those, that makes sense.
Yeah, like
this is more for like.
What was? Yeah, what is it for?
It's, I think it was. They don't want people stocking up on equipment in their lockbox, like carrying a whole armory in there.
Oh, I think it is. That's like old shit.
Yeah. So
it shouldn't be like. I have no problem with that. Like, okay.
Yeah, me too. I think it's worse to run off to MRPD and get more shit and then come back to an active scene. I think like what it said you cannot have in your lockbox is extra firearms, magazines, IFAKs, tourniquets, bullets, armor plates. I think you should at least be able to carry some extra IFAKs, tourniquets, bullets, and armor plates. Maybe not extra mags or guns, but at least like
just fucking no, just wipe it. Just wipe it. Actually, no. Make it red and make that section red, and red's gonna mean high command approval, like high command review. So like I don't want to make a unilateral decision on this, only because I can't, right? But I think it sounds like an area that needs to be revisited, simply because people are already doing it, and we're not living in a time anymore where like there's shootouts literally all the time, and the reason it was put there, in my opinion, was because when we used to have shootouts, there was less cops, less firearms on the street, and we didn't want to end up in a situation where like rearmoring and like all this stuff, like, hey, let me go back to my car and get 5,000 bullets and give it to everybody, or So
but people do that now when they go to MRPD.
But that's okay, because so I think there's a fine line here, right? And I think it just needs to be discussed with high command. I may have my opinion, but I don't want my opinion to supersede everyone else's. I'll probably make the argument that you can have alternative like setups in your vehicle, because I think that's healthy, right? Like,
what do you mean, like gun, like switching to a shotgun or something?
Yeah, switch to a shotgun, switching down to an SMG, right? Like, and that shouldn't require going back. But what I don't think you should necessarily do is that you're like, hey, like having a couple rounds is fine, but having like 5,000 rounds of bullets may be wrong, right? Having like restock in the car, like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't agree with a restock, but I also don't think we should completely limit it either, right? Like,
well, that's why the thing I've added, which is something I wanted you guys to review, was, so currently what we can per SOPs keep in our lockbox is stuff like spike strips, barrels, cones, spare evidence bags, repair kits, just stuff that's too heavy to keep on us and that we might not use like straight away.
Yep.
But I've also listed, well, it's in red now for high command review, up to 5 IFAKs, up to 5 tourniquets, up to 60 bullets, and up to 3 armor plates. And I already spoke to Stevie about this. She thinks it's a good idea because it's not a complete, like you said, like 5,000 bullets. It will keep me going till the end of the holdout and I'll win. But it's enough that if you didn't have enough on you at the start of the shootout,
agreed,
you'd be ready for the shootout.
I think we're on the same. I'm cool with that. Let's just fucking do it, to be honest. You know what? Let's fucking just do it. I'm gonna tell, hey, let me know. We made these, guys. If you have any problems with these SOPs, let me know. It's a little sneaky, but it's not intended to be. I just know no one's going to actually look at this. So.
Okay. I mean, the only reason is because, like, one, me personally, I don't like people leaving an active shootout to go to MRPD, grab a whole bunch of stuff, and then come back to the shootout. That feels off to me. But then I also don't like rummaging through dead officers' pockets on scene. Like, I don't want to, if I've run out of IFAKs because I had a bunch of crashes and I've had to use a bunch of my IFAKs that I had in my pockets just before the shootout, and now I've got 3 left on me, and I've been shot at already and I'm bleeding out, and now I've got 1 IFAK left. And I don't want to have to rummage through officers' pockets while they're shot down.
I think you have the right vibe in mind. And I'm in full agreement. This is not
to be.
If to speak plainly, the lockbox is not a free win box. It's a convenience between scenes. Thing.
If you weren't prepared, if you didn't have time to like do your like, I don't know, little trip back to MRPD during the day and like get back your IFAKs, and you only have 2 on you, there's a few more in your glove box you can use, in your lockbox that you can use.
Yep.
But it's not like 20. It won't hold you until the fucking end of the holdout forever.
Yeah. I think that is something we should probably, can we feel free to put notes, like I said, like let's put a big red, like red, we're not using red in the SOPs, are we?
No.
Okay.
The color I'm using for the SOPs is like white and blue.
Very good. So let's reserve red as a, hey, this is something that needs to be discussed, and there'll be temporary notes as we're putting these together so that when they are reviewed by High Command, we can ask is, in there, if you could write a line that just says, should restocks at Mission Row in a shootout be a thing, right? And what that will allow is next time High Command meets up and go through these, that'll be highlighted in there like, hey, this came up. Do we want this? And then we'll conclude, and I'll, like, you know, we can update it from that. Because I'm with you on that, is like, we live in trying times, you know what I mean? I ain't like it was a year ago. Now it's like, you know, this is why I got on fucking Channel 9 as quick as I did. The fucking OIS, followed by the we're going to kill the hostage if you don't do anything, followed immediately with another gang-related shooting, and hearing on the radio, well, guys, do we want to go to this now? And I'm like, brother, there's like, what do you mean?
Yeah, this was something that I think it was Fred was saying it earlier. I think it was, I don't know when I was hearing this. That we need to make sure, I think it was last night during the conversation we were having, that we as, you know, LSPD and BCSO need to make sure that we are completing one scene to 100% of our capability before we do anything else.
Agree.
Break off, before we move to something else.
100% agreed. I think the only exception is if something of significantly higher priority pops up, right?
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, this was about the terrorism thing. Like, I don't think anything would have, you know, come above that. That was
100%.
That was the biggest priority.
Okay. Let's see. What else do we got on this?
Oh, news equipment. So there's a part here about specialized equipment just under the box storage bit. In the armory, there are cameras and RC drones. These can only be purchased or used with High Command, Detective Lead, or TRT Overall Lead authorization. Authorization and use of these tools must be logged in Report 27455, which is
beautiful.
The log.
That's the one that we started creating. Is that the right one?
It's Opal's one that we've been adding to. Like, whenever we use a camera, we say 5 cameras taken out for this, you know.
Very good, very good.
And then it's just got like the stuff about the cameras there. Like, cameras must be your last option. Try and get eyes on however else you can before you do this. You need a warrant for if it's not in public places. and where cameras must be placed. But then I don't know, or I can't find any SOPs, legislation, anything about us using the news equipment. What is the deal with the news equipment?
Do not use civilian equipment except for the this camera. It enters this one right here. The video camera, you know. Video cameras are right. I am speaking how do I put this? So I think that entire section should be its own thing and its own report, because some of it is already in the DTF documents if you take a look at it. And I think both maybe should reference it, because we want to be very expansive. It shouldn't be just like you're authorized, it's how it's used, and we have to go into those details. This is one of those, like, you know, we were talking about like, you know, needing the blood, or sorry, the fingerprint information. What we're also missing, and I think this is what we got to tackle in these, let's call it surveillance devices. The reason it needs its own SOPs is there's a bunch of legal rules. For example, you can put a camera right here. You don't need a warrant or anything.
Yeah, but you need high command approval, or TRT lead, or
correct. But that camera, if it needed to be on a property, we need to go into the nitty-gritty details of it. Because even like some of those details, if not ironed out, are going to cause problems in court, where for example, you shouldn't be taking photographs from it. It does not have that capability. There's going to be a lot of, like, let's just say weird shit that we got to put into SOPs, because you know, people might not know. We need to explicitly ban the usage of phone tapping devices, because they inherently are illegal to use by law enforcement. And I'll dive into it, is because you cannot know whom you are utilizing that thing with, you will never reasonably be in the legal realm. And the moment you do, you actually can taint an entire court case. Like, imagine, like, it's like Rhodes Rule, but except for surveillance. Imagine
you're saying if someone ran in front of it while you were trying to listen to someone else, and you've now heard something else on someone else's phone, and you've violated their rights.
Exactly. And not even just violation, but like, so someone tried to justify us using the phone tapping device on like the faces, and they're like, well, we know there might be in this building, and so like if we put the phone there, it's gonna be fine. And it's like, no, it's not, because the moment you put it in there, what if you pointed it at the wrong person, and now you got information from that, right? Like, now, because you couldn't verify it, and because you're going to have to present this in court, you know what's going to happen? A defense attorney will literally just be like, whose phone did you tap into for that? Did this lead you to the conclusion that there was a bomb coming? Did that affect your opinion? Okay, it's tainted. Fruit of the poisonous tree, rebozo. You know what I mean? So am I kind of painting, like, making sense with what I'm saying there? It's like so risky that it's not even like you and I, let's say we're extremely diligent. By having it there, it's the non-diligent individual. Like, okay, actually, I got a perfect example. Stryker's dumbass went and made a private report alleging that I let the bombs go off.
What?
Yep.
What, for the fire starters thing?
Yep. I know this, and I'm telling you this because now Ruth is safe. She told me, because she was looked into the entire matter. I haven't brought up her name because I was afraid fucking LSPD would fucking rip her, right? and he was authorized by someone else to do it. So some degenerate in high command told and allowed Stryker to investigate my criminality of allowing the bombs to go off.
As he was a PPO.
As he was a PPO, while we were investigating the fire starters.
What reason did he have to investigate you letting
He's
the bombs
literally
go off?
The problem is he was enabled. The problem is that high command, some of these people genuinely have no idea what they're doing as police. Or imagine that wasn't stopped, Maeve. That's literally evidence that would have allowed the Beskies to walk. And then what's worse about it is Maxwell's dumbass recommended him to look into the witness tampering that happened in the court case. You know, the one I recorded? She I don't know what the fuck is wrong with her sometimes. She overheard me and Angel and put Stryker to write a subpoena. Bitch, who the fuck are you? What the fuck are you doing? You're not even involved in this. And you just put the guy that's already conflicted on this. Like, are you trying to throw cases? Are you a member of the damn Besties? What the fuck? Listen, I mean, whatever. Bozo moment, right? But the reason I line that up is you don't want a Stryker to go do something, and imagine you're 2 months into a case and you're about to go to court and you find out that a PPO had like a listening device listening into something, and then that comes out. We'd get, number one, it'd be a roads violation. Number two, it would throw the entire case, right? Even if it wasn't a roads violation. So that's why the strict rules around it are necessary. As for news camera stuff and like being able to take photos, I'm working with IT on some answers around that. One is clarity on photos. I know the answer is going to be no, because that's never been a thing. They're meant for like an alternative to sitting in a bush. You know what I mean? So you still have to actually go present.
Yeah.
The second is what do you call it? The rotating news camera. We don't want to utilize until we get explicit authorization, because that used to be looked at as, let's just call it cringe, because I don't know what other word to use, because it's a civilian tool, right? However, if I'm pushing to get one of those in our equipment locker, you know what I mean? So we don't get into those arguments in court. You know what I mean? I don't want one of our detectives to get like confronted and be like, oh my God, you're getting news rep. Like, it's not not healthy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What else?
It's time.
Oh shit. All right.
We'll have to continue after.
We'll do. We'll get through all these and then we can call it a day. You know what I mean? I completely forgot about that till she mentioned it. Oh my God, I still got to fucking run that up. Bro, I completely forgot about the witness tampering. Brother, I swear, is everyone just like by default zooted? Like, of all the people, your dumbass put Stryker on it. He literally already almost blew the fire starters case. Why would you re-involve him? What are you trying to make us like? What is it called? Fucking imposter syndrome. But whose decision was that? Yeah, exactly. It's not your shit. Now I know where it's like, so Ruby, Maeve are the leads. why would you unilaterally, just because you want to look busy, doesn't mean you just go and make unilateral decisions. That's how we got here in the first place.